human being starts like this. Human being starts with the only error. So that is the reason why I understand that the errors are we reflect. Errors are, or the not error, actually any thesis or a writing, we reflect it. We reflect it as a basically a think piece. It's in our thinking. If there is anything whatever we are writing, it reflects our thinking. It reflects the quality of a guidance of what we give and what we receive. And it is the reflection of the quality of study. And it is the reflection of the quality of the language. It is a reflection of quality of presentation. And it is the reflection of quality of creativity. Once we understand these particular guidelines, then no doubt there is a no end to modify, to rectify our thesis or even research piece. I understand that it is that through the research we reflect all these aspects. As we reflect all these aspects, we cannot create any exhaustive list of the errors what we do, even we write even 24 pages or maybe a 10 page. So go to the next slide. And in these particular slides, I would like to tell to you, is there any exhaustive list for the error in case of writing a thesis? Then perhaps the audience will say, yes, there is errors, but today, due to the lot of softwares, packages, or the various types of gadgets, I should say, that those are there. And that is basically in the area of plagiarism. Plagiarism, they check it. So that is the reason why there is no error. But can the plagiarism checking software stop this error? Question is this: can the plagiarism software stop those errors in writing? Because the writing comes from the mind. Writings comes from thinking. Writing comes from the creativity. Writings comes from the environment. Writings are coming from the guidelines or the guidance given by the many time mentors. So we cannot actually think in this line. Yes, the softwares, they can only take only the one aspect. Only the one aspect, that is the grammatical, as well as if it is copied somewhere, there is a dubbing. But the way sentence also sometimes they rectify, but ultimately it may not be. So that is the reason why let us think about, while you are writing any type of research piece, then let us begin with a title. In the title, how much error we do conduct? Can any participant can say that what type of how many types of the errors are there? Whether do you think that in the title itself there is a no error? It is totally right. Can any of the audience here presenting, can you give me any indication that whether the title does not have any error? Yes. How many of you are serious about the title? How many of you? Yes, Buddhisattva in the screen. Yes, can you tell, Buddhisattva? Can you tell me that any title is correct? Title, how much titles, errors may capture by a title? Title is a small piece of, yes. Buddhisattva?
Yes, sir.
Can you say anything about the titles, errors title in your experience, from your experience?
Yes, sir. Often we give too much details in title so that we didn't got to know what is exactly that paper deals with, or like what it intend to give us message.
Okay, this is your message. Then any other participants, can you tell about the title related problems? Title.
Sir, even
Yes.
the huge case that is used or grammatical error also found in the title sometimes.
Yes. Again, more than that, any other about the title related problem they face practically? Will you?
Many a times a catchy phrase is used which may not be relevant to the subject area topic area.
Okay. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, then there is a lot of the things we have to discuss about the title, and in case of the title only, like a face is the index of mind. In a similar way, in case of a research, the title itself is a index of the research. So one should be, even I normally face the problem in titling till today, but at the same time, I am also confident that the title, whatever I select, at least the my title never goes in the Turnitin. There is some errors. That is the confidence. That even in the Turnitin also we never get these types of title. Or at the same times, even I normally tell to my scholars that you see whatever I have fixed the title, you may not find in the many of the areas. That means this is just, you see the global repository, then also you will not find. But at the same time, I should give the time. Many a time, even the time title I fixed, but sometimes maybe some mistake. But when I fit it for the journal for submission, then the title remains really, I feel myself this eureka. Yes, I found it, something like that. I'm happy. I'm happy in the line of that. Again, it is not that what is the practice behind this. Uh, Again, today, just now, as a case study, I would like to explain. I was explaining a title in the line of developing a theory. The theory is in regard to the very differently. That is this, the giving a jargon of my own theorem. Is not own theorem in the name of which I thought that it should be patentable ideas. So that is the thing. Errors and the titles are really strong, really many, and that we have to check it. That while you are framing, you should be creative enough, and at the same time, one should be conscious enough. Creative as well as the conscious. That is very important. So the title must, here the first sentence is written, the title does not describe the main result of the paper. Many of the title you can see, or in your own even attempts for writing the paper also, the title does not describe the main result of the paper. That is not a good title. That is error in the title. First error. The title should describe the main result of the paper. Result of the paper. Again we'll go for further, that your reader wants to know what exactly you added to the field. Understood? Your reader, you have to take into consideration of a reader at the time of writing. That is, yes, your reader wants to know what exactly you added to the field or the areas. Your title should focus on that. And that is the reason why I am again referring to the just at the 340 with the sword of I was discussing about one theorem we have discovered, or we are trying to reformat. And this reformat, what's the field? This is fit at emerging theory, emerging dynamic change theory. That means what is there? That there is a dynamic change theory, but there is a theory, but the dynamic change theory is very less in case of the transformation. And in that line, I am trying to give a title of this certain theory. I am trying to reformulate. Reformulate means newly designed. And after that, I am trying to put this one, okay, in the change management. There may be so many theories, but there is a theory required in the dynamic change. Dynamic change theory is the gap. So ultimately, what is the findings? That particular theory will fill up the gap of the dynamic theory of the change. So like that. So the title contains too much detail. Then also, if you are writing too much detail, then also what is happen? In that case, when unclear about the main message, then you write about the too much detail. Too much detailing is not necessary. Unclear, when the things are really unclear, then people writes in much detail in the title itself. But there's a limitation in writing the title of an alphabet also. How many alphabet is necessary? One should have to see the title is sometimes too long. That is also a mistake. Too long title, it contains much detail, that is a mistake. So the paper should get more view and citation. And if you want to get it more viewer, more reviewer, or more viewers, and the citation, then if your title contains fewer than 95 characters, this is better. And if you are going beyond that 95 character, above the 95 character, then you will not be able to catch the viewer because the time is less. Viewer looks title very quickly. So the characters of the titles must incorporate less than 95. So above the 95 means this is an error, and people will not consider. The title is unspecific. When the title is much more unspecific, then also the title is error. Title bearing some errors. What is that now? The being specific your title is also important for indexing purpose. It is for the purpose of indexing. So make sure to provide the most important keywords of the paper in the title. Most important keywords should be in your paper, so or the title of your paper, title of your thesis. Most important keyword, what is that? That you have to find out. And if there is no keyword in the title, then ultimately keywords, somebody writes, okay, keywords, suddenly people are taking the keywords, but keywords, at least the one or two keywords in the titles, that should be keyword, part of the keyword. So this is about the title related issues. Then again, go to the next slide. Yes,
Sir,
yes, yes. Hello.
sir, one of the participants has raised his hand. I think he wants to ask something. So should I unmute him, sir?
Yes. If you want to ask, no issue, no problem.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Hmm. Yes.
I think it is by mistake. Sir, you can proceed.
Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Next is that errors in the titles are, again, if you go to the next slide, then you will find is the titles contain the question mark, hyphen and colon. That is also colon or hyphen. Too much detail, too broad and general. All these are the facts are coming because of the hyphen, uses of the more hyphen, or use of the question, etc. Again, many a times some papers are good papers, good theses are also there, starts with the question. That also we have to see. This is a big art and big philosophy, that in which way you are going to put the hyphen and what are the too much detail. When a colon and hyphen normally entails about the too much detailing, and it may be a too broad or too general, and that is the reason why you are making it general. That is the reason why putting the hyphen. So one should take care and what and why we are putting the hyphen, colon, etc. So that is also more using of hyphen or using of without knowing the logic of a hyphen. That is also a mistake. So many a time it is normally not used in case of the good quality of the journals. And at the time of review, people will give the comment like that. So this is another area, that is using of a hyphen under the title. Then next is that the title is too noun heavy. Sometimes title having noun, and noun is heavy. If the full of nouns are there in the title, it will take your reader longer to read. That means the reader will reader will take a time to read, and at the same time to understand it is difficult. And at the same time it is having containing verb, and that will create a problem. So that is the reason why one should have to take into consideration title should not too heavy with the noun. And if there is a more nouns, then it will be really problematic, and people one should have to avoid it. That is another issue. So the title contains unnecessary filler words. Filler words are there. Many a time, what do you mean by the filler words? The filler words, anybody can you see the filler words? The title contains unnecessary something filler words. Yes. If it is not there, I would like to give you, this is a mental exercise. Filler words. Filler words. Think it at the time of listening to. I'll later on come down. Okay. The title contains unnecessary filler words. Basically, suppose an observation you are writing, a study of, these are all filler words. and such on the things like that, on, study on, study of, or all these things are there. These are filler words, and one should be very economic in using the filler words in this case. So this is very important. That using acronyms in the title. In the title, if somebody is using acronyms, that is also one should be very, very clear that why I am using acronym and what type of the reader is. If the reader does not have the affiliation with that particular acronym and the group of the leader is something, then you are using the acronym, then also it is difficult for you to understand or to explain about that. So acronym should not be there. Next is the level of the jargon does not match to the target audience. Some jargons, there are so many jargons in the research, so you try to know all the jargon, the way people are using the jargons, and the jargons are also creating problem to the audience. That is the reason why more jargon use is not good. So you need to make sure that they can all understand your title, and it should still reflect your specific result. That is about this level of the jargons while you are going to say. Is not a large jargon should be less. Next, in the title, another sort of the problems is there. That is the problem of a title does not adhere to the journal guidelines. The title does not adhere to the journal guidelines. Then also there is a problem of the errors. Journal guidelines, one should have to see the journal guidelines, or in case of the thesis also, that should be guided by the esteemed faculty members or the guides or the mentors, those who are guiding the research. They should see the level of the guidelines, what should be followed at the time of framing the title. So it is very, very important. In case of the journal, it is mentioned that the guidelines, in the guidelines, that a good journal does not permit any type of acronym, punctuation, technical terms, and the active verb, etc. So that is the thing. In the journal guidelines, this is there, and many of the journals, suppose the Routledge and Elsevier, I was associating, and at the same time, the the various types of companies are also there. For that, I have seen that these types of guidelines even given to the reviewer also, that check the words, how it is there, how it is the formation of the title, how it is the formation of a sentence also. So like this. So this is the error in title. That means the errors in titles are so many. Now, just you see what is a good title and what is a rich title, what is a poor title, what is a good title, what is a bad title. Just you summarize. Yes, length. In this case, length is a 10 to 15 words is better. And even restricted to the 31 to 40 character. That is good. That is good. That is rich title. Character only. That means the 10 to 15 words limit, and poor title having longer than the 15 words. Punctuation, that the rich title actually have commas, colons, etc., but it's less. But in case of the poor title, what is there? They are having the question mark and the explanation. The question mark and the more explanation. But in case of the punctuation matters, yes, there is a acceptable level of the commas and colons are there, but at the same time, but in case of the poor title, their colons are also there. At the same time, there is a question mark also, semicolon also. Then this title is not a good title. Keywords, yes, the title which covers keywords is a good title or rich title. A title which does not cover any keywords, this is not a good title. Abbreviation, when you are using abbreviation, no abbreviation in the title is a good title. And abbreviation, having more abbreviation if it is necessary, then ultimately it is not a good title. Jargons, no jargon is a good title. And if there is a more jargons, then it is not a good title. Humorous, there should not be in title, one should not create the humorosity, and it should not be no humorous, good title. And yes, humorous means it's a bad title. Geographical location, many a time we tell, suppose our common tendency in case of the Assam University, including the Indian universities, what they are doing, that at the time of writing, they do the research, especially on Guwahati, especially on Assam, especially on Calcutta, like that. Many of the researches we find, and at the same time in abroad also you will find, wherever in the journals you see, then everywhere you will find about the geographical locations are given. Then geographical locations, while you are giving, that is also a difficult proposition in case of the writing research. It's not at that much good. And in case of this, while you are making all the researches like this, entrepreneurship in Assam, entrepreneurship in Barak Valley, entrepreneurship in Guwahati, all these are not at all good this thing. There is a reason, because it is so much specific to the thing and people are accepting it for the research PhD level. But in case of the good titles, while you are going for the good title, characteristics of a good title, then it is really questionable. So you think about the correct grammar and the spelling, that is very important thing. Yes, we in the title also there should be good sense of a grammar, and at the same time good sense of spelling, and no sense of spelling means ultimately it is a bad title. And many a time what happens, you can do the thesis completed, but at the last moment, because of the lack of the grammar in the titles, the whole thesis is very fine, but because of the title somewhere, because of small semicolon, the title thesis is rejected. That is one should take into account. Next is that the follows journal guidelines. It is yes, if you follow the journal guidelines, it is good title, and if you do not follow, it is not a good title. If you follow the research guidelines, then the title, if you see the guidelines, following the guidelines means it is a good research thesis, and if you do not follow, then it is not good. And it is clearly states the points of article. If the thesis or the titles normally explains about the clarity of the states, or clearly state the point of the article, that means these key points, key words, when connecting with the keywords, then it is stating, then it is a good title, but within the limit of the 10 to 15 it has to explain, and the board title does not explain this thing. So this is about the good and poor titles, or the rich and poor titles differentiation. Perhaps the audience now you understood. For the audience, you have already got an idea about the how to think about a title. All right. Yes, audience. All right. Now.
Yes, sir. Yeah,
Yeah.
hello.
Yeah.
Yes,
Anything, any
yes,
problem by having all these discussions? Now we can think about at least the maybe half minutes of the time we can devote about this something problem if it is there.
okay, sir. Yes, I want to know one thing is, yes, so far title is concerned, that
Yeah.
in title whether we can write a question mark or not in the title, any topic or any thesis.
Yeah, actually, in
You
case of a thesis, what I understand, thesis or even article also, writing questions is in case of a suppose commercial magazine, then you find a lot of this
yes,
question mark. But if you are doing a
yes,
research for the rootless, you are writing for the
yes,
research for the scopus, rootless, scopus, or at the same time ABDC level of the journal, or the Nasser's Springer, etc., then you will find very less question mark. Now, these are the
yes,
journals actually for the scholarship. While you are counting for the scholarship, suppose AD scientific index, if you want to enter near future, or you want to get the more citation, then question
yes,
mark based articles, even though I do also have at least the more 4 to 5 articles, I am getting very less citation there.
yes,
Even it is a poor AZ article published in a good journal, but citation is very less because the question might have not been that much correct. So that is the reason why we never can say that okay, it is not logical, and sometimes we have to create the logic also, so that this will become so much attractive. But the generally questions is not having question in the title does not show the maturity of a thing. Yeah, another thing is that in case of a research paper, in case of a English language literature, then you will find some of the question again, some questions. And that is because they are not research theory, but that is not a systematic research, because it's a very much qualitative, debate based, discursive based. These types of things they starts with the question, but that is also not good because they are subjective, and that type of journals are very less. That type of journals are very less. We are thinking about the science. We are thinking about the management. We are thinking about the economics. We are thinking about the social problems. We are thinking about the sustainability. In this case, making the lot of the questions may create a confusion to the audience. So this is the thing. Yeah. So all right. Yes. All right. Again.
Yes, sir, yes, yes.
Yeah. So next is let us go to the next slide. Yes, already it is there. Let us see this one. Length after this errors in review. We do the mistake at the time of doing the review. Most of the thesis in the India, not I should not say in the India, but some of the disciplines are different. Suppose this thesis in the line of a psychology, very rich. Line of medical science, their reviews are very rich. And again, they're very systematic. A line of a suppose the area of the science like the economics are also, suppose the Indian Institute of Economic and IEC, Indian Institute of Economics in Delhi, basically. There I found this, okay, their review is very, very rich in nature. But otherwise also, I also followed many of the mistakes in the review. That is, I accept it. The errors in reviews are basically what happens when it's a too much descriptive of a review. Then also that review is not good review. People are reviewing too much, giving too much. Again, another thing is that practically you will see thesis 1, 2, 3, 4. This is one style of review. Another is that the author wise they will write one para. Another author they will write one para. Another author they write one para. This is not at all review at all. This is not at all review. And the way it is run in the university system, people are telling, okay, that is, you cannot tell, because the reason is that they will hurt the sentiment of the renowned professors, etc. Under them also people are doing the review in such a way. So review is not like that. Actually, review is not like that. Review should have some objectives. Actually, objectives are many, and there are many types of review. On the basis of the title or any type basis of the question and answer, one should have to adopt that type of review. There are many types of reviews. There are 5 types of review. So we should have to see what the type of the review and the type of the questions, what is there. Accordingly, we have to do the review. And this one after another, this review, if you are doing it after looking the thesis itself, if you know the basic of the research, then automatically you will tell this is poor research, because it will take a lot of the space. Unnecessarily, review is not like that. Review means you are viewing the problem. You are viewing the methodology. You are reviewing. Already it is there. There is a view. After that, you are viewing the methodology, viewing the title, viewing the philosophy, viewing the question in the light of your question. In the light of your question, in the light of your title, in the light of your research methodology, you are viewing the other's view. That is called review. So that if this particular sentence, if you keep it in mind, then automatically you will understand that nature and types of the review one should have to conduct. So too descriptive review is not at all review. And the lack of quality source is another review, another issue of a review. Suppose you are doing a review, but what is the quality of the in the market places, you will get a lot of the review. But the thing is that all the reviews, when it is coming from the general internet, something blog, etc., like that. But it does not create any quality review. So quality sources is very, very important. Where from, what are the things you are taking? Suppose the Scopus based review, the journal of the one category of the journal you have taken, that is review, and the journals are this quality, then only it will speak. Otherwise, this so many markets, the paid journal, non-paid journal, even again we are the sufferer. We are suffering. And the systems was not. So that is the reason why we do like that. Reviews are like that. we have to think in terms of the quality review while you are taking into account, then we must have to understand the perspective of the quality source also. So next is that a review by article structural review. What is happening? Structural review. We are getting the problem like this: para writing of a para. So we should have to write a para. That's fine, but we should have to compare and contrast the findings of 3 or more article within a para. That is the thing. One article, one para, one research, one para is totally wrong. Within a one para, 3 or 4 or 5, if you can more incorporate more with a similar directions or can find a contrast, then that is called a good review. Within a sentence, even one can go for a review. That is the thing. The people are, that is, after writing and writing, people become master. Then within a sentence itself, they can format in such a way that the problems are covered nicely. Even the Turnitin cannot also dictate any type of problems in case of the review. So that is the thing. Para writing of the review does not have any meaning. So the no link to the research question is another problem in case of the review. No link to the research question. We are doing the review. There is no link with the research question. We are doing somewhere, then the title is somewhere. Why? Yes, once upon a time, what is happening, that is in our resources also, there's the limit. At the time, internet was not that much popular. When it was popular when at that time internet has come, but only the public institutes only internets are available, maybe library, university libraries, or at the same time it was the big libraries, government sponsored libraries. During that time, that type of facilities were there. And again, somebody takes it and it is highly taxing, because at that time the cost of the internet per month becomes the 4,000 rupees. Like that I have also experienced. I spent 4,000 rupees, up to the 4,000 rupees 1 month internet experience privately from my side. That is my experience. Now the thing is that even that we are the new learner, at the time searching of these things, we do not know, and we have written it and guide also could not detect. Okay, fine, that's all right, that's all right. But it is not like that. At the time of review, we have to see, as a mentor or at the same time as a scholar, we have to see the links of the article. Is it not with the contents what we are going to answer or address? So the review times also we have to see that, okay, whether it is how much is relevant. Irrelevant things, if you are reviewing it, then ultimately it will make your quantity, but it does not quality. So next is that the ungrounded statements. While in the review, while we do the ungrounded statements by taking from something, written something, done something like that, then we are putting it some other context. So these ungrounded statements taken from the one review or one articles or a writers and authors is also not good. It undermines the research question of the original author. So that is, review should be very, very serious in this case. And I would like to tell that many a time I like to prefer even the review research. Review based research is a very, very critical research. Review based research requires mind. Review based research requires the wisdom. Review based research requires the humanity. Review based research requires, they are concerned about the right of the intellectual property, like that. So that is the thing one should have to take into account at the time of reviewing the research, that the intellectual property should not be violated and should not be demolished because of the taking unnecessary sentences, etc., and putting in the context of my own research, like that. So this is the problem. Errors and reviews are more and many. So next, let us go for the next slide. Review, while you are going for the errors in the review, then errors in introduction we are going to get in case of the research. Yes, and I think another break I can give it here. That is errors in review. How many of anyone, may I ask the audience, that if anyone who has done the research work on the basis of the review, then what should be the title, how it should be, and for what reason? Do you have any experience of the review research? Review based research paper. Somebody may be a scholar, you may do the review-based research.
Sir, I have written a review-based paper, sir.
Okay. What is the name?
Sudhop.
Yes.
Sir, the title was like my topic, overreaction, underreaction of investors. And at the end, I put a colon and then written like a theoretical perspective.
Okay, this is the title. Then after that, what
Yeah.
did you do? How did you do?
Sir, I did the systematic database search. I went to the Scopus database and then I did the systematic database search by putting some keywords as search strings, like
Okay.
the most important keywords which are used by other authors in the field of my research. So I put all those words as the search string, and then I compiled a database. And then I went for reviewing all those papers. Like there were around 131 papers that I compiled by reviewing the abstract first. If I find that the abstracts are related to my research area, then only I took all those papers and I reviewed the whole paper, and I compiled in that way only. That's the methodology I followed in my review.
Okay.
paper.
After suppose this, how many pages you devoted? Suppose 100 papers. How many for writing by putting the each name of the authors? How many
Like,
pages you have devoted?
like, are you talking about the reference page, sir?
Yeah, reference not. In the middle of the text.
Citation
In the middle of a text.
citation.
In the middle of your text. Suppose you are using the 25 pages paper. Out of that one, reference is suppose this 4 to 5 pages, because 150 means 4 to 5 pages. Then in the middle, that while you are doing a review, because you are doing the review, critical review, there is a dimension, there is a structure, there is a, is it not? How much you have done it?
Like, sir, it could be around 6 to 7 pages that I devoted fully into the review, and along with this, I have compiled a review matrix also. So the review matrix was like three pages. It could be around 3 pages. So overall, it was like
review matrix.
9 pages.
When you prepare the review matrix, what the direction, in which way you have prepared the review matrix?
The first column was serial number, obviously. The second column was name of the author. Third one was the year of publication. Fourth column was the title of the paper. And the next column was methodology of the paper that they have adopted. And the last column was the findings.
Okay. You are getting within the methodology, there is a difference. Is it not?
Yes, right.
Within the methodology, you have to find out something. So what is there? That is the one problem. One, you are getting the methodology of the doing research. That is called the triangulation. Research having
Triangulation. Yes, sir. Yes.
And triangulations, what is there? The title itself is having triangulation. You have to do the title related triangulation. You can go for the objective related triangulation. Methodology related triangulation, place related triangulation, time related triangulation. So on the basis of the time, what you have found, on the basis of the methodology question, what you have found, like that. The questions may be different, language may be different. Then later on the basis of the triangulations, you can find the content analysis. Is it not content analysis? Because the contents are coded and categorized through the matrix. Yes, matrix can be used. Many a time matrix becomes much more longer, but when you are using systematic review, then automatically matrix becomes shorter. Getting it? And when you are following the methodology for the, suppose the review is done for debate, reviewing is done for proving, reviewing is done for basically you have to justifying, reviewing is done for to find the gap, then the review process are different actually. Getting it? So then only you will find your resources will be, if you take the coverage of this particular angle, then your review research will be so much interesting. Review researches becomes so much interesting, and you can find out the finding of the variables, finding out the problems, like that. You can find out through the best reviews, you can find the research gap finally. Getting it? So what is the title? That through the review you should do the title. Suppose the positing of the particular problem, in the title you should have to give, okay, this is the agenda for preparing the research theme. Getting it? So it is a research agenda. Then in the title a word, future research agenda. Suppose a capital structure after the colonial period, is it not? Or capital structure after the meltdown, capital structure after the meltdown, capital structure of nationalist bank at the after meltdown. Then you are going for a research agenda. How you are getting it? Through the review. Automatically people will understand, yes, agenda he prepared means he has done through the review only. So this is the exercise. Yes, so again the review is so rich, and it is much more philosophical, it is much more debate based, it is much more psychological, it is much more analytical, and it is this analysis is not the objective analysis, but it is the analysis of your own intellect. So review is that, and review is very rich exercise, and there are a lot of methods. I request all the audience here to see thoroughly the systematic review, how it is done, what the various types of review, and the method and processes of the review, and accordingly how that review is applied in the different type of journal. If they verified, I think they will be able to incorporate more and many information in their own research. Okay, so errors are in reviews are more and many. Next, errors in the area of basically the introduction. When you are writing, that is the main problem. Many of the researchers, they feel that is, I know I have to write a letter. They take a pen, paper, or laptop. After one line writing, they forget it. That is the basic problem. After writing of a one sentence or two sentence, they feel that I'm this actually flawless. Why? That is also actually, it's coming from the mistake only. Flawless. The reason is that they do not understand how to begin, and that is the reason why they are flawless. And they sometimes, what is there, some of the researchers are there, they are a good researcher, no doubt everyone is a good, because they are having potentiality to become a researcher. That is the reason why they have selected the research as a career. But one I understand is that when they feel the flawless means ultimately they do not have the exactly the focus over the problem. They cannot make anything is important. Actually, that is the reason why they become flawless and they feel at the frustration. So error in introductions, that is very important thing. And when the introduction does not describe any problem, then it is a poor introduction. Here this para is written, everybody can read it. No mention of a problem that needs solving. In other words, the research question underlying your study, that is very much important in the introduction part. This can be debate in literature, or a gap in the knowledge about the topic, or a contradiction in the literature, or a disagreement between the different scientific groups, or a claim that it is only weekly evidence, like that. Getting it? So this is the no mention of the research problems, and in this case here you can create a background. And introduction of the sentence also really very difficult. When this is the beginning of the sentences, beginning of which sentence, how to make it. Beginning of a sentence is really difficult. Really, I understand. I myself also very many a time wonder in the land of this my own intellects. Then I see that what I should begin. Yes, really difficult. But at the same time, some are very flow. They are with a flow. Somebody can write begin. But at the same time, to begin with this one, with the objective of this one, if you want to start a debate, if you want to start a gap, if you want to explain the gap with the first sentence itself, then to really it takes time. And there, in this particular place, the researcher should not feel that is more tired. He should have to develop. He should have to develop the ideas that how to begin that type of research in the hurry. So just now I was telling with my practical experience just today with the Saurav when he was sitting in my room. Then I was telling to him that Saurav, that's just I was beginning with a particularly topic of a writing of a or beginning of a particularly theory. So in that particular theory, that is the sentences what I was using is that initially it is for the change. So the change, when I initiate with the change related and trying to contribute through a theory, then to change related sentences I have to bring. So this change related sentences I have to bring, and in this case, what I have to bring, how I should bring, all these things you should know it. So what I did is that in this case I have mentioned my own exercise. I want to explain. Suppose this managing through a prospection. It is a new prospection, is a new terminology I am going to introduce with the introduce. So what is there? I wanted to begin directly with this definition that yes, prospect means this foundation. Prospect, the foundation of a foundation word is that the prospection, which means the prospects. It is a noun and it connotes the various things, is it not? Now, why the prospection is necessary? Because we know that future is totally uncertain. So in the world of the uncertain, is not in the world of uncertain, and in the world of likelihood of the futures, in the world of likelihood of the futures, the prospections become a common issues. Knowingly and unknowingly, people are doing prospection. And in the same way, in case of the business management, in the field of the business management, managers are knowingly, unknowingly, or without the theory and with theories, they are using the activities of the prospection. Getting it? Then automatically people interest will come out. Now it is the prospection is a psychological process, prospection is a philosophical process, it is a human process, it is a systematic process, like that, and again we were having a lot of this, again the knowledge process. This is a prospection. So then automatically we'll tell yes, even though it is done, but people has not written, no theory is found out how to create the prospection in the line of managing the problem or the managing the solutions of a particular field. So nobody has written. So very less. Yes, prospection is there. Prospection, managing the prospection through the retail trade, managing prospection through the wholesale trade, that is concentrated on the trading. But in case of the general problems happening of the general management areas, nobody has written. So like this way, one should have to ensure that he has enough knowledge on the issue of a prospection, and at the same time he has enough knowledge how to posit this one and to differentiate what he has, what the already existing literature and what is not there. That one should say within 2 to 3 sentences begin. Otherwise, reader will not read. That's the main problem. Readers wants to get very ready-made. The way we want, the other way also they want. The way we want, in the same way other people wants. That is the reason why we have to check like that. So this is the prospection. Introductions is that. So the errors in the introduction in the next page, what I found is that their introduction is too long. That is also bad. That is an error. Their paragraphs are too long. That is also mistake. That is error. Any introduction where the introduction is too long, their paragraphs are too long, that is error. And their sentences are also too long, that is also an error. Is it not? And again, I have written very categorically, the first sentence is boring. The first sentence is boring in the introduction. Then that is also error. You will need a very general first sentence that covers a bigger part of the research area. What you have to do, you must have to have a very general first sentence that covers the bigger part of the research area. When there is no flow in the introduction, while you are writing, there is no flow. And the flow means here that the readers can easily follow from one sentence to the next one without getting to the stuck, without stopping here. The readers must have to understand, yes, he can predict actually after this sentence this will come automatically. So that introduction is a good introduction, otherwise there is an error. So the flow one should have to maintain through the smoothening of the sentences by making simple sentence only. By making simple sentence and short sentence, automatically there will be flow. Otherwise there is a no flow. There will be stacking up in somewhere. And complex sentence, in the, if you are using, in case of a complex sentence can be useful only when, again, the complex sentence first degree, second degree, third degree, that will also you should have to see. While you are going for the data interpretation, etc., etc., at that time, sometimes complex sentences are useful, but it is the second degree, up to second degree, not the third degree. And the complex sentence, while you are using introduction, etc., areas, while you are using this introduction, this particularly complex sentence does not have any meaning, and it is creating the load only. It is called the flash of research. So they uses too many synonyms, also not good in the introduction. Too many synonyms are there in the introduction. If there is a word, single words, you are putting it so many synonyms, then also it is not good. Introducing of the synonyms will take another para. So researches are so scientific. It should be meaningful while you are writing. Then one should not only devote for the purpose of only general saying, is it not, or for saying about it. You are not doing the grammatical research here. You are not doing the comprehensive research here. You are doing the research in the line of a systematically. Is it not systematic research? So when you are going for the social science research, it should be meaningful to the society, and that is the reason why it should avoid that type of things where only the grammatical errors are there. In my cases, practically, I have found in the many research board I attended, and some of the experts normally they take into consideration of a grammars only. It is not our, yes, grammars is necessary to take care. It is also error. And this error should be rectified by the scholar himself, because the grammar is, he has read from the class 10 onwards. Class 7 onwards, he is reading the grammar consciously. And he has to. And if I am doing also, I also do the mistake in grammar, because I have not got birth in London. I have not got birth in the America or somewhere in the English speaking countries. Yes, there will be mistake, but at the same time, this mistake, I know that I should rectify it, and I should be serious, even reading by reading by reading. At least the 3 times reading is necessary before discussing anything, before showing to the guide even. A scholar, if you are a scholar, at least you read, take the printout, read again, take the printout. Or if you do not like to take the printout, once you read, once you take the printout, read it, pen, use the pen and pencil and use it again, read it and read it. After that, after correction only, then the second draft only you will take to guide. Then automatically your again guide will find out only the 1% grammatical mistake. Then guide will also feel, okay, he's some good. And this gut feeling is very, very important at the time of writing. So this is the thing. How to remove this error, basically, that is the thing. One should have to at least the 3 times read. And sometimes what is there is a temptation. Yes, I have written like this. That is also in my case also. If the things are totally new, then I want to I like to share my ideas with the new persons, those who are not knowing these particular facts. Then I show it. But that is right. But how they will accept? Many a time, because of this particular showing, can become a very bitter experience for you, because people will interpret you, hey, this first sentence also he does not know. That is a sometimes this discredit for the researcher, and somebody will do, and this person, he is doing the bullying, because he also should know that, okay, because of his temptation only he's showing. Why should we should not criticize? Because in a single writing, nobody can become that much expert that he will show and he will infuse all the sentences, feelings, and the intellect added together in one single sentence. There may be correction is necessary, but at the same time, our showing also, the part of the showing when we show that at that time we should read at least twice or thrice. After thrice reading correction, then after that second draft, second printout, we can show to the guides or somebody else, and then we can give the responsibility, sir, or somebody else or friend, you just correct me. Then it will be interesting, you will get motivation for writing. So this is about the introduction. Again, along with the introduction, I am saying the general writing. Yes, so this is yes part. The another slides, if we move it, then there is a errors in the area of main thesis. Then what is happening? What is happening? That is the wrong words, writing of a wrong word, using of the wrong words. And the example, allergy. We have written allergy, and when you are putting it in a grammar sentence, grammar spell check, etc., they are accepting allegory. Now just you think about that. Allegory in accepted, computer will accept and replace it by allegory. Then what will happen? Ultimately, allegory is different and allergy is different. And if you are writing allegory and you are putting it allergy, then complete meaning will be completely different. So that one should have to take care. Wrong words. wrong words knowingly and sometimes unknowingly because of the depending upon the computer, depending upon the softwares. So they replace by themselves. So that is very, very important. Next is that the missing comma after an introductory element. While you are writing in the any sentences, introductory element is there, and there you are not having the comma. You are not given the comma. Missing comma is also a problem, or it is an error. One should have to take care. And comma is a word. Comma is a particularly that particular symbol that normally gives this enrichments of the thinking, enrichment of the feeling at the time of writing. So one should have to take care, and this is very, very important thing. And that is the reason why, in case of the plagiarism check softwares, then in Turnitins, even the comma also taken care of. And because of the comma, you will find your plagiarism is increasing. Plagiarism increases, the level of the plagiarism and the similarity report increases because of the small commas. If you are not putting in appropriate places, it will be discouraging for many persons. Basically, for the when a writer, those who are novice writer, they find difficult for themselves to digest that, okay, this must mistake, how? But they may not tell about the commas also. The Turnitin may not say about the comma where to put it. But because this is meaning, and in a side box you will find, okay, there is some instruction to restructuring, reframing the sentence, reframing the verb, reframing the something else like that. So you will not find, but it is because of comma. So you should have to use, you should know the comma, when to use, how the introductory sentence should be written. That's the important thing. Next is the incomplete or the missing documentation. That is important thing. While you are writing, that the incomplete missing documents, when you are writing, then these some documents necessary, and this document you cannot cite properly in the reference, then there is not page number, something like that. If you are going to say, many a time too, you have to say even with para number this. Some document require the para number this, line number this. Some of the research evidence, while you are going to put it or they going to display, then this para number, all these things are very, very important. But how much we do, we have to think it, how much we are following the document should be. And at the same time, at the time of writing reference, one should know even the page numbers, is not the year, everything should be clear. And when many a time what happens, that many of us normally do not take even the year in which year it is published. Reference is written, so that reference is incomplete reference, and it is not good. Next is the vague pronoun reference. Vague pronoun, a pronoun that is he, is, or this, it, etc. This creates a problem sometimes. So using of more vague pronoun in reference to a particular sentence or the particular phenomenon, particular facts or the particular explanation, that is also very bad. That is error. Spelling is another area. One should have to see the spelling, and that is, I myself feel myself in the right of writing, the way it is going because of the habit. The first draft is my last draft. This is also I accept it. Even though I write many things, many time I am busy with the writing also. I do not give any time to any other person even. Many only the remain with writer, it work useful or not useful, but I remain writing like that. So but the thing is that the habits is like that because of my mental temptation, etc., etc. Then what I do, this first draft is a last draft, like this is not good. I understand many a time I feel very, very embarrassing situation myself. Yes. And what is happening because of this first draft is a last draft, this particular attitude has created me in doing or committing the spelling mistake. Something I know, but I did not care on the finger and the screen board. I never care it. It's done. Yes, done. Once gone means there's no time to look back. That is also not good. That is a mistake. That is errors. And if it is there that in a thesis, suppose one page contains the 2000 words or the 1000 word, and within the 1000 words, if there is a 500 words is mistake or the 200 word is a mistake, then how it look like? It is really embarrassing for oneself. So that is, one should know it. Next is that the unnecessary comma. Comma is also, earlier I told comma is so important, and this time I would like to tell that comma is important. That's fine, introductory element, that is important, but at the same time, unnecessary comma can create the confusion for the reader. So one should have to know the legitimate use of the comma, where, how, when. And many a time what is there? Unnecessary missing capitalization. Unnecessary or a missing capitalization. Capitalization when it is necessary, it is not done. When it is not necessary, when it is not necessary at that time, it is done. And in the similar way, in the title also, capitalization is so much necessary, it is not done appropriately. So capitalization is a major issue. Many a time I have even rejected in my life. I have my own experience at the time of checking the thesis or evaluating the thesis from some other institute. Because of the capitalization, I am forced to write the special comments, that capitalization. Even forced to give a comment that not to pass this particular thesis, after correction only, required correction only, this thesis will be given result, like that. So just to take into account, try to understand capitalization in the title, in the subtitle headings, subheadings, capitalization in the text, how it should be, capitalization in the within the sentence, capitalization for a organization, capitalization for the person, how it will look like. That is very, very important thing. That is a matter of art. Then is another word is that another thing is that in our life we normally missing the words. Sentence while you are speaking something, then some words we do not say. Many of the persons you may find in your life, maybe those who are observing, he is saying something, telling something, but in the words missing is there. Word dropping, what is called the disease, it is a this memory disease, logical disease. He never care about that missing of the word. In case of a communication, I also do how many times, but everybody does it. Everybody do that same mistake. But this mistake, even though everybody does, we should have to take care, minimization of the missing or the word dropping system. And in my life, the embarrassing situation is that the one examination I appeared in the descriptive type papers, at the time of writing, I know that I hope to get the good marks. I know I had the questions also very, very easy for me to write, and the things I can write it very nicely. But because of the writing in the examination, word dropping has created a lot of the problem. Embarrassing situation. We should know it, that how the word dropping had happened, and we should have to discover. Nobody will discover this thing. We have to discover what is the word dropping, how I am saying the sentence, how in my sentence, in my saying of a general sentence, even how word dropping can happen, how sentence dropping happen. And many a time what happens, people are saying something, 50% of the words never say. And that is in the similar way. At the time of, he may be in the speaking very good, but at the time of writing, 50% of the words, useful words, are not spoken, not used. That is a serious mistake in case of research, because it reduces the reliability and validity, and it reduces the weight of your sentences. It reduces the acceptance of the reader. So one should know it, the missing of the words. Next is the D.
Third,
Faulty. Yes.
sir, one of the participants is asking to repeat 7th and 8th point. That is unnecessary comma and unnecessary or missing capitalization. If
Yes,
you can please,
unnecessary or missing capitalization. Yes.
and unnecessary comma too, sir. Unnecessary comma too.
Unnecessary comma. Yes. So unnecessary comma. That means sometimes what is there, we use the comma, na? And in the middle of the sentence, we are using the comma. And in what senses we are using the comma, we should know it. Many a time, what is there, that in the place, actually the sentences right now I will not be able to recall because I am in a different mood. Otherwise also many a time where it should not be used, we are using the comma, and because of the comma you are stopping this thinking, is it not? Then this is impacting on the flow. Comma means biram, means stop, half stop, and half stop means once it is half stop, then automatically we will have something problems in the sentence. Suppose in this vague pronoun or the reference, under the reference, suppose a pronoun, as for example, what is there, he, this, it. Then if it is, there is no comma, he, this, it, what is this? Is it not? If we are not using, then he, this, it. then one sentence. And if we use this comma, problem. So this is unnecessary comma. Where comma is not required, we should have to know. And how to detect it? Then when you are reading 2-3 times, then only you will understand that comma, whether it is necessary, whether I am using the unnecessary pronoun, it is also will be able to find it out. So the unnecessary missing capitalization. Capitalization means what? Again, in the sentence or the headline, subheadline, or sometimes in the sentence, some capitalization is necessary. Capital. You should have to use the capital, or at the beginning of a sentence, the capital, is it not? Missing problem. So this unnecessary missing capitalization, this will create the problem. These are the 9 missing word already I said. All right. Yes. Any question? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We have a question in the chat box that in the title, can you have some words capitalized?
In case of a, suppose in case of reference, reference writing, some of the titles, reference writing titles are first words capitalization, then rest of the things you can write in the non-capitalization, that is small letter. That is not a problem because this title, that is reference guidance are given in the journal. But in case of a that is in case of a writing of a suppose the general thesis or even research title, many a time again title also this is mentioned, guidelines is mentioned, and if it is not given, suppose we are having here the 3rd number, just you see, or the 4th, second number, second missing comma after an introductory element, what is there? Where I have given the emphasis unnecessarily, after also I can give after title missing comma in the number 2, suppose the 2 number line, or you are here in the slide number next slide. So suppose this here just missing comma with a non-restrictive elements, you see capitalization I have used with not, with a, there also I could use, no, I did not use. Unnecessary shift in verb, there I did not use in. Missing comma in compound, in a compound sentence, in a I did not use. In is a separate word. Even it is separate word, still I have not used a capital here. Why? A, I did not use capital word. Then this using of this one is a unnecessary capitalization. Again, suppose in this case missing comma, C is a small letter and C is also a small letter, but sentence I have given capitalization. Then what is there? Then where it is required the capitalization, where I have used it, I did not use it, it does not look nice. Getting it? So it is in presentation, it is a sentence only. But in case of a you should have to take care. So these are the issue. All right. So the next is that the faulty sentence structure. Faulty sentence structure itself is a problem. Once the sentence structure is faulty, then it will give a different meaning. Whatever you wanted to say from your insight and what you understand, you could not reflect it. That it means it is creating confusion for the reader as well as you. All right. Next is the missing comma with non-restrictive elements. When there is a comma, you are using non-restrictive elements are there. When it is not there, missing comma with a non-restrictive elements, when it is the non-restrictive elements you are incorporating, then in this case you are using or not using the comma, then also it will create a problem. So one should take care in this case. comma, using of the comma is so important now. Again, comma, comma, you are using so many comma. Then unnecessary shift in verb and tense. Verb and tense. Shift in verb and tense also create a problem. Unnecessarily, suddenly you are having one verb and using another verb in other sentence. Then unnecessarily you are shifting the verb. Then it will create a problem. You are writing in present tense and writing in past tense may create a problem. So the missing comma in the compound sentence, that is also we should have to see how you are using the compound sentence and the missing comma, how it is there. Next, fuse run on sentence. Sometimes you are fused with the run on sentence. Then also there is a problem. As a sentence is running on, but in the running on sentence somewhere you are using something, break, and you are using additional some of the words. Then suddenly it will become fusing on the run on sentence. Then suddenly it should be simple and run on sentence. Next, run on sentence again, it is joiner sentence. Many a time it is joiner sentence for joining that. However, suppose you are using however, you are using after full stop, however, that is the run on sentence words. And however, this is happening. However, this is happening, even after, like that. So these are the sentences we should have to take care. Next is the fused, this is comma splice, comma splicing. More comma, using of the more comma several times. That is also another use. That means this comma is a major matter in case of research, writing research. Lack of pronoun, antecedent agreement. Lack of pronoun, if you do not know how to use the pronoun, is antecedent. If it is not there and it does not match the pronoun, if it is you have to write she, you are writing he, then also it will create a problem. So that is also a research mistake or the errors. And poorly integrated quotation. Many a time integrated quotation. The quotations are not matching, but you have brought a quotation. It is not integrated. And many a time, many of the researchers, people feel that, okay, I am writing that that particular quotation in the beginning. That is also not good many a time. Not necessarily. It is not that increases any value of the somebody's quotation. If you are not writing that type of philosophical ideas, then it is not necessary. Or if you are not writing, use the quotation, and from the quotation only, if you are not beginning, then you should not. And the quotation is somewhere, then you are starting in somewhere. Then it is not necessary to use this quotation because you are using the space. In case of the research space, words, economic use of the word is so important. Next is the missing or unnecessary hyphen. Using the hyphen, or you have not used the hyphen wherever is necessary. Then if you write it, then also there is a problem. So these are in case of writing that text within the research. Now the question is that the other measures are there. I have not incorporated in this slide. The slides is ended here, but I would like to mention you that suppose wherever at the time of writing research, you should know that you are writing the data set. Data set, sources of data set. One, the numbers table headline. Many a time, many researchers get scolding only because of they do not write how to write a table headline. Table headline will tell what the table is, what is the depth of the table event. The table headline writing is very artistic. It should give the meaning of the analysis. It should give the meaning of everything. Table headline is a major issue. Table, along with the table headline, table should having the table numbers. This table number where you are writing, that also you should know. Yes, this table number written in that table 1 of the chapter number 1. Then too you can write, yes, 1.1, table number 1.1 is a number. You are having 20 tables in the chapter. So the 1.1 table, then you put the number. And the table number, many a time it is necessary about the capitalization. Running heads, you should have to know about the running heads and the capitalization. If you are not having the capitalization running heads, then it will be really difficult to understand what you are writing in. The general sentence, if you are writing, then general type of the table. I have seen that the many of the scholars, they have got the PhD, even the postdoc also, but they are not knowing how to give the nomenclature of a particular table. That is really mistake. So really that is mistake. Table number, tables, really you have to give in the number where you are using this number. That is also necessary. Table having its source, mentioning without mentioning the table sources, the data from where you have got it, and if you are writing it for what context, that is also sometimes necessary. Many a time, some of the table, within the table, some of the words, sentences, what you have to do, you have to give the star mark to understand, star mark or space fill symbol, so that you can signify, you can define. That is very important. Another thing is that sometimes within the para you have to write a table. This table may not match in that particular class. This table can go break. Table breaks to the one portion, half portion remains in the one page, another half portion goes to the another page. Then can you not arrange? You have to arrange in such a way so that the table will go to the total intake without break. Without breaking, one table goes to the one page, and you can mention here the table number, this is this. Or if the such situation occurs, then you can tell table number 1.1 in appendix, table point 1.1 in appendix. Here you can squeeze the sentence that this particular table, even sentence or small table, you can create instead of that particular big table. So that is another mistake. Many a time people are doing half table here, half table there, no summary, no title of the table. Then this is really a mistake, serious mistake. Even though some researchers, some examiners, some of the reviewers, they guess it. Okay, this is that particular table, it is saying, it is doing the correlation. Okay, for that, yes, fine, it is there, nicely it has been done. He may overlook this particular problem, but as a reader, while you think it, you should have to be clear enough. Table, getting it? So in case of the table, and many a time what is there in the explanation, in case of the research explanation, people are telling too much background, writing of a background. In the research writing, they told that because of this particular reason I could not do this thing, because of that. They wanted to signify his personal experience, because of your own personal temptation, that he has found that, okay, so extraordinary. It is also not good. That is also error only. Unnecessary saying large amount of the one para devoted for their personal temptation, personal feelings in the thesis is not actually the relevant. It is error. People will not accept papers. Good journals never accept it. Then another thing is that while you are writing the thesis, then you must have to know about the other part. That is the arrangement. That is the arrangement of the thesis. Arrangement. It should be always, one should look about the order. If the order is missing, really it does not look nice. One should have to see the writing the numbers in the table numbers. There's a digits are ordered in the left hand side, left alignment, right alignment. One should know at what cases left alignment, at what cases right alignment, at what cases is the middle alignment. That is very, very important. If it is if you put the left alignment, then it look different. Right alignment, if you put it, then its meaning is different. And the middle alignment, if you do, and what context it is there. Suppose a single digit, then you can go for middle alignment. Is not, if you are having the digits are discrete, is not somewhere 5 digits, somewhere 3 digits, somewhere 2 digits, then it is better right alignment, because it will say the right side is all right. Left alignment, when you do, then in case of a descriptive type of research, then if you do the left alignment, then no question at all. But in case of a descriptive research, also middle alignment is good. Like this way, alignment is a mistake. And at the same time, while you are writing, suppose this research gap, and this is suppose the research gap, if people are doing like that, I have only done, or this is the method only, this is the first time only. Like this way, one should not write. This is the first time, it is not like that. The research is the first time, this is the first time I have got it. So it is not like that. So that is complete error. And people, you cannot tell, maybe in your sources, limit sources, you are finding it is fast. Who knows it in the universe? Who has done it? You do not know. So ultimately, we should have to write in appropriate sentence. Is not the rare, something is been rare or found is very less amount within this particular area. So, or it is less known subject for the many of the people like that. So like this way, you have to come to your valid points. Getting it? And the writing of a conclusion also one should have to see. Many people normally do the mistakes in the research writing. Conclusion, they conclude, then after that they write a separate type of recommendation. What is this? Many research, this is a practical problem. Even reason is that going for writing, conclusion is conclude. After that, there is no recommendation. Conclusion is a conclude, and conclude means ultimately conclude and with the full stop. You recommend, suppose these findings, after the findings there is a recommendation, or many a time may not be recommendation, but there is a something your research implications. You may not write recommendation, you may be having the implications. Implication may be to whom it is useful for this research, that is also recommendation. All right. So then after the recommendation, then only you conclude. What I understand, it is good for anybody. Many of the researchers, I have checked more than the 30 numbers of the research thesis. When a total thesis is more, but 30 numbers of thesis I found like this in my lifetime. While evaluating the theses, then I found that this is the main problem I found. I very disgusted. The reason is that the conclusion logically concludes. After that, full stop. Nothing will be there. Before that, you can do. Why you cannot do? Because conclusion will say my unique findings and feeling at that time only. Conclusion will say by doing this particular research, it is discovered that these are the things like that, and it should be short. And in the conclusion you can write, or in the before the conclusion even you can write one special sentence can make your thesis much more weighty, because you, after doing so much of the study, you are going to conclude that this is my conclusion is. So suppose this, you know that many of the cinemas videos, many of the pictures, while you see that the conclusion how they have met, is not. After that the messages are very silent, very meaningful, the messages are there, then after that full stop. That is the thing. Many people, this number people are, in case of the research, are people are over intellectual. People become so much intellectual, you cannot say. People become, many a time they become very egoistic also. You cannot correct it. But the thing is that the logic, the ultimate logic normally help us a lot to understand. We have to use our logic. It should be relevant, it should be useful, it should be meaningful, and it should be contributing, it is giving the knowledge, as well as the researchers should give the wisdom also. And at the same time, research writing itself is a indicators that what type of person you are. It is a personality. Research writing itself is a personality. Research writing itself is a personality of the institution. Research writing is the personality of the guide. Research writing is the personality of the brain. Research writing is the personality of your total philosophical or your personal values. So these everything reflects in the writing, whatever you are writing. So one should be very careful in the writing. Errors should be minimized. One should, again, what I am saying is not adequate. I also do the mistake. I am also learner. I am daily learning to write. Many of the things, whatever I'm saying, that is not exhaustive. I think I have not discovered many of the mistakes, even what I commit and what I do. And with this one, I would like to now do not like to continue, because you are telling my time is scheduled for 6 up to 6, so we can go for at least the 7 minutes for the any type of discussions. any type of question. If it is there, then let us interact with the participants. With this one, I would like to stop for the time being. Okay, so Rob, now it is 5.
Participants, any questions, any queries, please ask. We are having, sir, he's having vast experience. Please ask. You can take the opportunity. Any queries? So one query was there in chat box. I find in the title, can we have some words capitalized?
Yes,
Sir, I have sir already asked this question, sir.
Okay, okay.
yes, yeah, in title it is capitalized. In case of the some of the journals, they tell or the some guidelines is given, then it is different. But normally capitalization is necessary. Capitalization necessary, suppose when it is required. When it is required means, suppose I have given a slide number, suppose the last slide 11 number points, missing comma with a non-restrictive element. Suppose missing comma, missing capitalized, comma capitalized, but after that with a, this is pronoun, is it not, and preposition, and with this preposition I have not given an article is there. In the article there is no capitalization, but another words, emphasized words, non-restrictive, n is a capitalized, and element is also restrictive, that is the emphasized word, so element. So ultimately in that element, e is I have given, e is capitalization. So capitalization is necessary in the title. You can see even the very good journal, you will find like that. Yes, any more?
Sir,
Sir,
now,
one of,
yeah, please.
Yes, yes.
sir, Debjyoti sir, should I?
Yeah, please.
Sir, there is a question from one of the participants that can you please suggest a concise book of guiding principles?
Concise book of guiding principle in the research. Actually, I never tell this thing, guiding principle at this moment, the book wise. While you put it, suppose the errors in research in Google, then you will find hundreds of the pages will come out. Each and every error somebody identifies, if I realize, myself realize, or somebody tells, that all is a guidance. It does not require that the specific book. You sit down with the computer, you will find lots of the numbers of the errors, they will show it. You read it, or if required, then you can take the text, and copy it, and take the printout, make it by spiral or the bindings, then you can use it. That is important, like this. And another thing is that while you are writing, yes, when the basic thing is that the sentence, basic thing is the writing, basic thing is the feeling. You have to express the feeling through the research. You have to express the feeling, that is this. It should be as much as it should be concise, clear. Is it not clear to, not to me, clear to the audience? Who those? Writing is for them only. Who will read actually? For the readers. We should have to write readers friendly. That is ultimate guidance. We should have to make the write up through the readers friendly. And other than that, there are, suppose you are doing PhD, institutional guidelines is there. If you are doing the, suppose this postdoc, then the funding agencies guidelines is there, how to write the thesis, that is mentioned. And if you are writing thesis for the purpose of journal, then there is a something. And while you are writing the journal's article, then why don't you follow that standards one? If suppose we cannot stitch our quote, then we can see, we can buy it, we can see the how they are stitching, and accordingly we should try. Maybe I know that after the 10 20 trial only, it will be all right, is it not? We have to make the trial. We should have a courage to make that trial. So we should think about that. Such types of very highly highly cited articles, if you download it, how they write, how they correct, how they make the sentences, that is ultimate guidelines, because it will tell you about the experience how to write, how they are combining. It does not require that if I tell only the guidelines, you will not be able to write. Only try to follow the path of those who have not done that error. That is ultimate guidelines. I think it is adequate to answer.
Sir, I
Sir,
know some things.
Yes.
Sometimes we find that like these errors depends on journal to journal. Like
Yes.
sometimes error may be errors for some journals, and for some journals it's quite all right. So
Hmm.
standardization of
Yes.
errors is a bit difficult.
Yes, difficult. I told na, that is the thing. You follow that one style. Suppose normally some style is there. Suppose a title is title, is it not? There is a, suppose even after the writing a title, giving the sometime the author's affiliation, second author affiliation, third author affiliation, like that also journal accept it. And many a time author number 1, author number 2, author number 3 affiliations are written in that below side. All right. So that is also different. Now the thing is that you should have to know the types. The different types of writings are there, but the text, abstract writing methods are almost similar. Maybe they are in the abstract, they break it something, is it not? Sometimes there is a point-wise abstract writing. Sometimes there is a no point. There is
Yes.
no guidelines.
Paragraph style.
Is it not? Yes, and the general para style. So that you can follow it, no issue. But within the para, if you break it, the para, then you will find all the guidelines again, all the sub headline within the abstract itself. So they do it like that.
And another things are sometimes in many journals, a few standard journals, we find that to make the title catchy, like so that it's very interesting. Some authors use different question marks or different styles to make it more attractive.
Yes.
I don't know like what is the contents, but the title seems to be quite interesting when they make it like that.
Yes. That is also right. That is not only interesting, meaningful also. That means they normally try to catch even the idea. That means the attention of the reader. They try to even the focus on the contents also. When you are making catchy, that indicates that you are creative one. You are creative also. Even the contents are captured there. You could become the catchy. Otherwise, it is not. Sometimes so long is not catchy.
Yeah, sometimes the traditional way we write the title, these are not like accepted by the journals.
Yeah, many journals they will not accept it. That is not accepted. Sometimes many journals are basically journals when they normally look the catchy, but at the same time it should have to have the basic keywords entered, objectives also entered, and findings also entered within the 15 words. They normally seek that one also. That is a common practice actually. As a reviewer from the very event, I have reviewed the articles for the international Nobel Prize recommendation forum. Their article also I have got once, because they give the review for 15-20 persons many a time. So I have found some of the article in the economics. I have read it and I have got it to give a comment, a sunset actually. It is a luck only. I got a privilege. So there also I found the same pattern, same thinking.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we did this.
Any more
Yes.
queries? Any more queries from participants?
Sir, I have a query, sir.
Yes.
Sir, like in systematic review of literature, we need to assess all the papers or research articles that are published in my research area till date. But sometimes it's not possible to access all those papers because we have some restrictions. So isn't it a mistake or or a error if I try to compile the literatures or the research papers which are accessible to me only?
No,
If I
it's
don't,
not like that. Actually, systematic, while you are making system, you have made your own system. How this? Suppose you want to do the review on the sporadic sources of literature, then it is a system. That okay, my system is anywhere, anything, whatever I will get it available. What is this? I will do it, but sporadically, wherever I found that is there. Another system is that the bibliometric system. You will think that okay, the one specific journal for the 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. One specific issue-based journal, suppose the journal of consumerism. Then you will go for the 20 years. 20 years means all the issues you will check it for a special title. That is systematic. Getting it? Another is that you have made your system. That is system did. I will review the sporadic articles. I will review even the whatever is the blog titles. That is also a system. I will do the review.
That means there no harm if I cannot access some of the papers and still I write the review-based paper.
But at the beginning itself, you have to define that one.
Okay, okay,
That
okay,
okay,
sir. I got it.
resources are like that. Yes.
Okay,
You have
okay,
to met the
okay.
system. You have to met the system through the systematic review. And another thing is that now because of the technology, systematic review is different because you have to use the Prisma software. Prisma.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, Prisma, etc. So all this software again, some things that tells that the LNTS or LTS like that. These types of softwares are there, and these softwares are really, it requires a vast database and huge numbers of data. Then the access permission, many things. Then after that, this software you will apply. Then you will find this basically of review for doing the content analysis and contract structure analysis. Basically, it is for the purpose of making the software or making the philosophy, making the debate and discourse, etc. So that is a different style. So while you are doing the systematic software, you have to make the system. Yes, maybe time-based system, maybe place-based system, maybe basically the system-based system again, maybe the publication-based systems, maybe the journal-based system like that, or the topic-based system. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So I think I do not like
No
to
more
spend much
queries.
more time. Yes.
Sir, it was a wonderful deliberation, sir. Even so many things I was ignorant, and today I know that even a comma or a full stop may change many things, sir. Wonderful, sir, discussion.
I do
Thank
not
you,
know
sir.
what I'm. Yes,
Thank
I
you.
do not know. It is only you have given me the opportunity to speak, so I am speaking.
Really, sir. So many things have been come to light today, sir.
Okay, I also do the mistake. I am also learner only. Only to mention to everyone, I am telling. Okay, thank you. You have given me enough opportunity, and thank you to all the audience who are listening my this particular meaningless lecture
No, sir.
patiently.
Number of appreciations are coming in the chat box, sir.
Okay, okay. I think it is the
Thank you,
last
sir.
session.
Thank you, sir. It was very enlightening, sir.
Okay, thank you. Thank you to
I
all.
request quickly Shorab to do the vote of thanks.
Yes, yes, sir. As all good things come to an end in life, so this informative session. I, Saurav Acharjee, coordinator of this session, deem it a great honor and privilege to propose the vote of thanks on behalf of the organizing committee. It is my most pleasant duty to offer a very sincere vote of thanks to all those who have directly and indirectly contributed to this 2-week online FDP on research methodology and applied econometrics. At the outset, I convey my hearty thanks and deep regards to our honorable resource person, Professor Arup Burman sir. Sir, we are really enlightened with your knowledge and very informative deliberation on the errors that generally are made by the researcher in writing their thesis or writing any paper. So we are very thankful to you, sir. I also express my sincere thanks and heartfelt gratitude to the convener of this FDP, Dr. Dibjyoti Chaudhary, sir, joint conveners Dr. Shravanti Maiti ma'am and Dr. Taraknath Shahu sir for taking all the pain in organizing such an informative and enlightening FDP. A special thanks goes to the Department of Business Administration, Assam University and dignitaries of Vidyasagar University for their continuous support and guidance. I would also like to thank our coordinators, technical support team who are working relentlessly behind the scene to make this event happen. Finally, yet importantly, we thank all the participants of this FDP for your involvement and active participation throughout the entire session. We are sure that by participating in the session, you have gained useful knowledge from sir. So once again, thanks to all of you for making the session successful. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Burman sir. Okay, so
I think sir is muted.
yes, sir is muted. Yeah, sir is there. Thank you, sir, for giving us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you. So we are ending the session here, and participants,
Yeah.
let us meet again at 6:30 for the next session. Thank
Okay,
you.
Dibjyoti, you can share your video to me
Sure,
when
sir.
you are. Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. I have lost at least the 5 minutes time for
No issues, sir.
initially it is because of this network basically. Yeah, mobile
Thank
is good. Yeah, for the network only. Network slow. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you. Good night. Good night.
Thank you very much.